Hi there, I'm Maria Pau. I'm a certified addiction specialist and best-selling author of 4 books. I really would like to thank you for choosing the next 10 minutes with me here today. And I'm so pleased that my book is on its way to your inbox right now. Since you've chosen to be here, I thought I would share a little bit about my story. You see, I wrote this book, Kill Your Addiction Before It Kills You, because I myself suffered from addiction issues for almost 20 years. One time in my life, I was always anxious, depressed, and for many years lost living a double life of shame. It got so bad that I isolated myself from all my family members and kept running away from myself. For 14 years, I traveled to 14 countries, living and working in over 120 different cities. Looking back now, I realize those were some of the darkest times of my life, where I spent time with some really dangerous people. To be honest, it nearly killed me so many times. The compromising situations I managed to put myself in, now looking back, were just totally unbelievable. As I hid my addiction, I attracted some of the worst people life can throw at you. People with no integrity, only out for their own monetary gain, using me as a pawn for their own malicious intents. Sick minds and sick behaviors. I'm afraid that's what a world of addiction is full of. You see, I was in psychiatric care many times due to my chemical dependence. Not once, not twice, but 10 times in 4 different countries. It took such a toll on everyone around me. But because I got so good at running away, no one got to witness my pain long enough. I made sure I was never connected too long to a town or city. Unfortunately, my only concern was about my next drink or my next high. After ostracizing myself from all that I loved, I started to really hate life. I was in the world, but I might not as well be in it. I might as well have been dead. I hated that I grew up in poverty. I hated that my parents didn't know how to raise a little girl. I was not raised right, so really didn't know any better. To stop my pain, I would take drugs. I would drink so much so I can soothe my resentment for the world. But in the long run, it only hurt me. You see, I wasn't equipped with emotional maturity to deal with the world, and the only way I knew how to deal with my problems was to run away from them all. Like my father did to me, and like my mother did to me when I was young. I was not given the tools to connect with the world. I did not witness balance. I was not emotionally healthy. So I just drowned my sorrows in alcohol. I had so many feelings of unworthiness, so I would wallow in self-pity and numb my confused feelings with drugs. Of course, with this attitude and with no good people around me, I attracted all the wrong men into my life. Why am I sharing this with you? Because I want you to know, I know how it feels like to be at your wit's end, to absolutely lose your mind because you had no one to support you. You had no roadmap to recovery, no accountability for your actions, no responsibilities in your life. Like me, if I didn't like the mess I got myself in, I just packed my bags and left. Those times, those many times, were the times I wish I had what you have in your inbox right now. A story of madness to let you know that we all go through depression and anxiety and pain, but there is a way out of that. Like the pages of my #1 bestseller, In the pages of my #1 bestseller, I give you the definitive guide that I wish I had, that I know if you read that book, you would realize no matter what mess you think you may be in, there is a way to get your life back. So after almost 20 years of this life of addiction, anxieties, mood swings, and feelings of hopelessness, a pastor's son took advantage of me. He fed me to the wolves and showed me a whole new meaning of hell. I was dying. I literally summoned up every courage in my body to file a domestic violence order on him and tell the courts of the horrors he made me go through, of how he threatened me, how he physically abused me and sexually took advantage of me. I felt so dirty and ashamed. I was scared of what he would do to me next, so I dropped the domestic violence case against him. But as I suffered more and more, I knew I was going to die. So I gathered all my courage again and thought, if I was going to get killed, then I might as well die trying. I walked into the courtroom shaking. He came in reeking of alcohol and high out of his mind on meth. Because of how he came to court, I won the case. The police forced him into rehab and I was able to get my life back. I prayed that morning in tears and asked if there was a God. I asked that he help me get through this. I bargained with him and that if he did, I will change. It was New Year's Eve 2012. I made a New Year's resolution to turn my life around. I decided that enough was enough and I could no longer keep hurting myself. My organs, my brain, my heart, my liver, I also knew that no one out there truly understood, and I started to know how to help myself. I mean, I had a lot of help. So from my traumatic experience and in my recovery, I was able to formulate a surefire recipe for keeping clean and sober. Of course, as I took one day at a time and lived a life of complete transformation, I did whatever it took to be clean. I studied about addiction and completed my master's in addiction studies at a top university and got into my doctoral program. My thesis and my life's work of truly helping people to recover from addiction permanently started to bear fruit. I decided to delve deep into myself more, seek the help of professionals, and draw out more innovative solutions to this massive problem our world faces right now: addictions. I learned from my clients and I learned from my past. That was my beginning. And guess what? I successfully recovered from almost 20 years of drug and alcohol abuse. I had other addictions like love addiction, shopping, porn, and sex addiction, and those too started to fall away one by one. Because of all the hard work I put into this mission, I met 3 of the best coaches, and you will meet them soon. I met David and later on Tara. There's also George, Zoo, Ian, and Moira. We put our brilliant minds together to create a cutting-edge online program called the 12-Week Recovery Breakthrough Incubator. This is a program like no other. This is recovery that you can do in private, in the comfort of your own home, and with some of the best coaches this country has to offer. We are here to support you in such a profound manner because we know that it doesn't matter what addictions you might have had. We have perfected the path to a long and sustainable recovery so that you can benefit greatly. Moira's father committed suicide from alcoholism. David lived a life of addiction. Ian has been clean and sober 26 years, and George just recently turned away from 26 years of marijuana and alcohol addiction. So right now you could be feeling like what we were feeling in the beginning of our recovery. But the good news is, with our 12-week program, we're able to help you overcome your biggest challenges. You'll be supported by the most sought after recovery coaches and experts in the treatment of addiction and mental health issues. We want you to live a world of freedom and fulfillment. You will be empowered to gain control and total direction of your life, free from the clutches of addictions. You will experience riches like you've never had before. You'll suddenly be at peace, have clarity about your life's purpose. You'll have meaningful goals, the best relationships. You'll finally be the most amazing mother, father, husband or wife, girlfriend or boyfriend, son or daughter you can ever be. You will know stability, respect, dignity, integrity, and live a life of total abundance. Now, I know the path of recovery is difficult, but with our 12-week step-by-step process that has been tried and tested by hundreds of people just like you, and with the coaches that have successfully recovered from addiction themselves and have helped many others do the same, you're in very safe hands. Now, we know for a fact that not everyone can take 1 year out to go to rehab and to recover. On top of that time, which you probably don't have, you also need $10,000 or $20,000 to check in at the better rehabs or clinics or retreats around Australia. More than that, think of what it has already cost you. Financial issues left and right. Your business could really be at stake, if not already bankrupt. What about the most important? Your broken family, broken hearts, more broken homes. The money to date would have cost you greatly: legal costs, hospital bills, insurances. What of the degradation and shame? You know, you can't put a number on what a successful recovery looks like and means to you, because it is priceless. We want to give you the gift of your life back. We have worked tirelessly on ourselves and on systems and training to bring you this program. We are at the cutting edge of transformation when it comes to addiction recovery. If you or your loved ones have been affected by or are still suffering through addiction, we would like to help you change it all. We have a team that is committed to help you break through. Now, as a person that has had to overcome my own addictions and work with close to 600 people to help them find their path to recovery, I know that recovery is not easy, but it is totally possible. The team that will work with you, we're all living proof of this. We value our recovery so much, and we will set the example so that you can do this. Because we know in our hearts that when you're supported by the right team and with the right tools, you will break through and break free once and for all. Our incubator program has been designed to give you all the resources and support you need to effectively move past your addictions. If you're committed and ready, we'd like to invite you to apply for a free strategy call with one of our team members. We're only looking to help a handful of people, so make sure you're one of them. In this phone call, worth $497, you will discover how a complete transformation is within your reach. Like I said, this is valued at $497, and we promise this life-changing conversation available at a time you choose is so important